Hi, this is Rob from Waxadisc Music, formerly known as One Division. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create Blue Monday by New Order in Ableton Live. I've used Ableton Live 8 because all my plugins are in there, and I've not got around to sorting them out for Ableton 9 yet, so if we're going to do it in Ableton 8 for this. So what I've done is I've taken the tracks, elements, so the beats of the drum machine, samples and various soft synths. It's just a good idea to get something going when you've run out of ideas, perhaps, or you're looking, to do something for a bit of fun. This is ideal for that sort of thing. Obviously, it's just a bit of fun. It's nothing serious, so it's not exact, and it's never going to be exact. So this is how we're going to do it, and this is the way I've done it. So whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. What I've done is I've recreated the track, and I'm just going to do the basics of the track using the bass lines, the sample from Kraftwerk, and some Juno synth sounds along with the original drum sounds that they used. Now, the drum machine that they used for this record is called the Oberheim DMX, and it's a famous early 80s drum machine which was used in many hip-hop records and other dance electro-pop records of that time. So Google Oberheim DMX, and it's a drum sample pack, and all the sounds are in there, like the kick and the snare, the hats, toms, ride, claps, etc. So Google that, Oberheim DMX, and then what we'll do once you've got those sounds is create a track using the drum rack. So get a plain drum rack over, and we'll record the kick in, and I put all the sounds in there. I put in the kick drum, the closed hat, the clap, the snare, and the open hat. I've stuck a compressor on it and a bit of limiter just to beef it up a bit and give it some power, because the samples aren't that great in terms of quality. So what I've done is we will set it at 130 BPM, and I think it's a little faster, the original, but for the purposes of this we'll stick it 130. Put your metronome on and find your drum sound, your kick, and then press record. And that's it. Let's record that in. Double click, open it up, quantize, and then repeat and loop. And there's your kick. And the next we want to do is we want to record the hi-hat. So a new channel for the hi-hats, and let's find the closed hat, which is, I put a bit of reverb on there. And all I've done really is just 10% on a concert hall reverb, turn the decay right down, and press record on that, and let's see what we get. And the pattern will go like this. Like that. And then double click, open it up, edit, quantize. Okay, like so. Right, the next thing we want to do is record the clap and the snare together on the same channel. You don't have to be on the same channel, but for the purposes of this it's a lot easier. And we'll play them both together. So let's press record again. Like so. And that's all we do. It's those two like that. Repeat the cycle. Okay, right, the next thing we want to do is we want to get the open hats in, which is the little bit where it cuts out, where it goes. And what we'll do is we'll hit record about here, take loop off, and press play, press record. Get those little bits in, open that up, just do that 4 times. But then what we do is we take that what we've just recorded and we drag it up to the kick and double click on the one on the kick, select them all, and then just drag them onto the kick channel. And it saves you re-recording the kick drum in as well. Okay, so there's your basic beat. Now what we need to do now is to mute the hats and the clap, just keep the kick rolling, and we're going to put in the high synth sound that's the intro of the track. Now what I've got for this is the Tal Uno 62 soft synth. And it's a free download, and it looks like that. It's the replica of the Roland Juno synthesizer from the early 80s. And all I've done is I've got a sound called the Funky Lead, which is out of the presets. It's just this basically. Let me just play it for you. Simple little sound, but what I've done is I've put in some LFO here, turn the frequency up and tweak the frequency there, and just turned it up on here. Look, so you've got, is it that one? Like that. So it's quite resonant. It's quite a lot of resonance in there. And put a bit more MB upon it. So it's like that. It's quite wobbly, and that's all I've done with that. And I put a ping pong delay on it, 30% roughly, an auto filter, and just turned it up slightly on here just to give it that squelch feel. And the same again here. I put a phaser on, and that just gives it. If you listen to it without the phaser, but you put the phaser on, it wets it up quite a lot. Okay, but what I've done is I've got an arpeggiator out of the MIDI effects rack here and used the Bark 16th. Drag that down there, and I've got pinky up down, swing 32, gate at 39 or 40, whatever, around there, and the rate at 116, so it goes like this. So instead of playing one note as a flat note arpeggio, you play two, so it goes like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to record in this little riff sound. I don't think the original is an arpeggio, it's just a little pattern that they've recorded, but for this I'm just going to use an arpeggio because it's quite easier to do and it sounds pretty similar. So stick your metronome on and turn that off, and what we'll do is we'll record the notes and then you'll see what pattern I've done. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at that. And there you go, look, I've done two notes at the same time, and it's D, F, C, D. Okay, so, and then it goes D, G, C. And then you can just mess about with this. So obviously when the track was made, when they made the track, what they did was they faded in the thing. Okay, so let's just mute that now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to record the synth bass in. Now what I've used for this is, it's not a free plugin, but it's the Jupiter 8V synth. And funnily enough, there's a sound in there called the Blue Monday bass. Now that's what I've done. I've just used that preset, and because it's quite a high synth sound, I've gone down a few octaves. So go down to like so. So what we'll do is record this in like to 2 octaves, kind of arpeggiated. Put the metronome on and record it in like so. Like that, and you'll see the pattern in a moment. Let's get rid of all that muck and open that up, drag it over, and there you'll see it's exactly the same notes, but it's D, so you go 1 D, and then the higher octave you go like that, so it goes like this. But obviously I messed up a little bit there, so we need to just record that in, play that in again like that. Right. Okay, so that's the first little bass riff we're getting. The next thing we need to do is to get the Uranium sample from Kraftwerk, which is what the group used themselves. And the track Uranium by Kraftwerk, you should be able to pick that up from anywhere really. So what we do is we get a simpler and just throw a simpler in and then open it up down here and get the Uranium sample, which is just this little bit here, and you'll hear it now, which is been used on many rave records, but I think New Order were the first people to sample that. And all I've done is I've just looped it. I've just looped a little section of it in here, look, and just cut it. Just it continuously goes around, like so. And then because the sample is originally in, I think if I drop it back down to an octave, it's out by one note. So just go up, down one. So -1, transpose it, and play it in D. Okay, so let's record that in. And there you go, that's that. Right. Okay, so there's the Uranium sample. Right, next thing then, we want to change the bass line on this side. So once this bit goes, the bass line comes in off. It comes in a different area. So it comes in on the F. So what we do is we copy the last three of those like that, and put that there like that. Just copy that back over, and then we repeat. The bass line goes right, plays in a different way round. So we put the Uranium sample over, and then we put the beats over like that, and then we get a kick, and then we change the kick and we take away the fast bit of the kick. So get rid of that, and just have a 4/4/4 like so, and then you put in the roll bit at the end there like that. So it goes like this. Like that. Okay, right, next thing that we want to do is put in the toms. Now I've put these toms in off the Oberheim again, and they're here, look. And there's about 5 or 6 in the sample pack. I've just used 2, just like that. So we'll press record. And double click, take the fold off if it's come up, and there you go, look, a little pattern like that. Just there, look. Simple little riff there. Okay, what we need to do before we move on to the next thing, I've just remembered, is the synth bass here when the Uranium sample kicks in, is it would take away the second note on the higher octave. So, like this. So it's just a... So, sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, so we just make them single 1 octave instead of. Okay, right. Moving on. Let's just glue that together and change the colour so we know what it is. Right. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to add the keyboard pad sound. And again, I've used the Tal Uno, and I've just got a preset called Synth Heaven. I've not touched it at all, I don't think. And what we need to do is copy this over so that we've got plenty to go on. And just like that, that should be enough. Okay, and we'll hit record now then. Should have copied one extra over there, but still doesn't matter. Okay, so let's put that over and open her up. Let's have a look. So there you go, there's your riff. Let's just quantize that before we can do the make sure that's on the D. Okay, so there's the riff, and that comes in just there, look, you can see it, just before the next section, so the first note comes in just before. Okay, and now what we need to do is just change the hi-hats here, so just delete what we've just copied over, double click, and then we're just going to have a simple pattern across so that it goes like this. So it's just straightforward, like so, and repeat. You could leave that last one in, actually, it sounds quite good when it doubles up. And then copy those over and just make sure that you know what they are, so they're different to the first bit. And that'll do for that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is record in the live bass, which is the Peter Hook bass. And for this, what I've used is the New Order bass, funnily enough, in the combinator presets over in Reason. And it's got that twangy sort of sound to it. I'm not a big fan of emulator basses, but for the purposes of this, you'll get the idea. And I'm going to record that bass line in a second when I copy this over. So we'll copy all what we've just done over, get rid of that for a minute, and put in the bass line here, and the same drum pattern there. Okay, let's just pull that back over. Right, so that goes like this. Like that. Let's change the colour of that. Okay. Double click on that and then we'll open that up and you can see it's just quite all flat notes really for the most of it, and it's just in D, then C, then D, then F, then G, then D, so it goes like and then what we do is we move that over again. A lot of moving about here. It's trial and error, always trial and error. And we copy that over and we have two of those. And we get that out of the way, drag that into there like that. And this is where we do the snare thing. So we get a clap snare in, double click, get rid of the bottom one. Is it the bottom one? Let me just get rid of that a minute. We just need the snare, so we get rid of the clap, get rid of those snares, and then we pull that snare in, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Copy that again, like that. Then the last one we have like this. So it goes another one, another one, another 1, 2, another one there, one more, and then a clap down here. There, just there, and then a closed hat, I think there. Sorry, an open hat there. Like that. So just copy that pattern. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, miss 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, miss 1. Then you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 in a row, miss 1, clap, open hat. But then what we do is we copy that pattern we've just done up to the kick, delete those two, the clap and the open hat, select all of your things you've just done and put them onto the kick drum. But you could put in a kick at the end here just so it rolls over, put 2 kicks in there. Maybe just the one, like that. Or whatever takes your fancy, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so the next thing to do then is to begin the verse bit. So when the riff ends here on the synth pad, what we do is we get rid of the Uranium sample and we half the bass and copy the bass over again. And so it's kind of, it starts it all over again. So get your beats and put them in, say there like that. So it goes like this. So it comes back in twice. So it plays the first 2 notes of the bass twice in a row. So like that. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to put in a muted guitar, like a Strat guitar, which again is an emulated one. I'm not brilliantly happy with these presets regarding guitars, but it's over in the instrument rack, guitar, electric guitar, and it's mute Strat, I think, muted Strat, that one. And let's just check, yeah, the guitar muted Strat, and this is the... It's obviously not brilliant, but it does the trick. And we'll play a little riff in like that, so let's go for that now. I want to record that in. Like so, very straightforward, very simple, and let's just quantize that. I think I've got the last note wrong, but we can sort that. Well out, that was. Too much for this, that one. Get rid of that last note that I've just done. I think that's right anyway. You could probably put that on the C actually. No, put it on the A. So it's just, I don't know if this is exactly right, but it's the kind of sort of arrangement. So it's 3 C's in a D, so then 2 D's, a C and an A. And that's it. That's that little bit done. Right, okay, for the final part of the tutorial, we're going to add the synth riff in, which is like the brass sort of sound that they used. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to get the exact one because I think from what I've read, it came from a Prophet 5 synth. So what I've done is I've got a free plugin called the Locomotive, and it's this thing here. You can get that from any VST download site for free. And I use the Anna Brass sound, and it's the... I just put some modulation on it. And that's what I've used for it really, because there's no way I can replicate the original one that they did. So just copy over another one of those. So what you do is once the synth riff plays out, and that's where the first verse comes in. So obviously you have that bit for the verses, and then on the second bit we're just recording the riff, and it goes like this. Very simple little riff. I think there's more to it than that, but that's like the main bit of it that I've interpreted. As I say, this is an interpretation. And all it is two C's, two D's, quite fast, just like that, look. And so it goes. So that goes up there like that. That goes in there. That comes back. Get rid of that one. Just have that. And then the last bit is when it goes down. It's like. Obviously the sound is nothing like the original, but it's it'll do for the purposes of this tutorial. So it's CC, DD, CC, DD, and then there, and then put some modulation on it so it goes, and then just goes D, C, A. And then it just drops down again, doesn't it, to the bit where it goes. And then goes into a drum roll and then reverse, then returns back to the original body. So that little riff there. Right, that's as far as I'm prepared to take the tutorial. Obviously I could go on, but I've done enough, I think. So I've given you the main body of the track, the main elements, the drums, the bass lines, the arpeggio sort of sound they use, the guitar strats and stuff like that. So that's it really. What we'll do now is we'll go through the track and listen to it and see how it plays out. So let's just solo the kick and the ARP intro, and then obviously you can automate this, so we'll just play this and then go. And there you go. That's it. That's my version of Blue Monday for you. I hope you've taken something from that and it's come of use to you if you want to have a bit of fun. Please don't forget to follow my channel on YouTube and also follow the blogs with the addresses on the screen now. I'm also available on Facebook and Twitter, so please do connect with me on there. And there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.